Welcome to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm your host, Avery Cooper. Your stream co-sponsored by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. I'm here in studio with 4-H youth development educator Sarah Martin. Welcome to the program, Sarah.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you back here in studio. It's been a while since you've been here, but great to have you along. So remind everyone, what is 4-H? And, maybe how do you distinguish it away from some of the other programs that are like 4-H?
Yeah, so hopefully a lot of listeners have heard of 4-H before.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because it's been around for a long time in lots of different places and ways. But it's an after-school program or out-of-school program that focuses on youth development, positive youth development. So we do that through community clubs where kids have the opportunity to work with a volunteer on different projects and community service opportunities. So they build life skills, meet friends, all that stuff. Learn public speaking, leadership, and then they also enroll in different projects in areas that spark their interest. So from aerospace to woodworking and pretty much everything in between, livestock, animals, visual arts, crafts, anything they can think of as a hobby, we usually have as a project, and they can learn more about that and grow in some of their knowledge and skills in those areas.
As a youth development educator, what is it you do?
So I work in a multi-county unit and kind of oversee a lot of the 4-H programs in those units. So I serve in Christian County as well as Jersey, Macoupin, and Montgomery in Central Illinois. So just kind of overseeing those programs, working with our volunteers, and then providing some other standalone programs in schools on some, needs and topic areas like health and nutrition, workforce readiness, college prep, leadership, any of those kind of life skills or just general knowledge that we like to instill in kids.
Sounds like you get a lot of interaction with youth.
Mm-hmm.
How do you enjoy that?
It's why I'm doing what I do. And I always love working with different ages of youth as well. I love working with the junior high and high schoolers that, are kind of on the cusp of figuring out what they want to do and helping them do that and kind of build leadership. But I always love working with the younger kids and just seeing their curiosity, getting to answer their questions. They always have the best questions. So just getting that and the variety that gives me to do different things every day and week and month is great.
I know you said a lot about the younger kids, but what do you enjoy about working with some of the older youth?
So a lot of it is just kind of helping them fulfill or kind of set some goals and see them through. So whether it's a career goal, whether it's getting them better at speaking in front of people, taking on leadership roles, being able to kind of see them take a step forward and reach a goal that they've had, especially some of our lifetime members or our 10-year members, seeing them grow from a, 8 or 10-year-old all the way to 17 or 18. You can see a lot of growth and potential in them, which is great.
Yeah, I would imagine that is very rewarding when you see them kind of work their way into potentially college or any other trade that they might go into after high school.
And then seeing some of, our young alumni or, alumni in the future come back and say, what 4-H has meant to them and how it's helped them in their career. So that's also very rewarding. So definitely many things about my job that I love.
So 4-H right now in the area, they're putting on a program. It's the UIS Performing Arts Center Lights, Camera, Action Tour. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we, so like I said, in 4-H, we have different opportunities. And a lot of times we'll have workshops or field trips. We have a colleague in Sangamon County who had connections with the UIS and the Theater Arts and Center for Performing Arts. I never know what it's called up there. So we have gotten a backstage tour essentially there. So they're going to take us kind of backstage, show us, I think, some of where the lights are and everything, and just kind of get kids that experience of seeing what goes into making a, theater performance, some of the ins and outs, because theater arts is one of our project areas. So some kids are enrolled in that. So just kind of giving them a little bit of a taste for that.
Someone in the performing arts section of project, what is it that they do? Are they performing a play? Like what is it they do?
They could, in a way, if they get to that point. So a lot of times they will sometimes they can write like a script. I believe they can put on make little puppets that they would make a puppet show. They could talk about or make their own character in a play or something like that. And we have team opportunities where they can, team up and put on a little skit. Back in the days, we used to have performing arts like contests where a lot of people would get up and do that. We don't have that as much anymore, but they can kind of zero in on any of those specifics in theater arts or performing arts.
Sounds like it's a good way to show those that are interested in performing arts to just kind of show them, hey, this is what they actually do on a somewhat professional level.
Yeah. And that's important to note, that this workshop, going the tour, and then any others we talk about, are open to 4-H and non-4-H members. So just because you're not enrolled doesn't mean you can't go. And even if you're not enrolled in that specific project, still come. It might spark an interest and you might want to enroll in that project and dive a little bit deeper. So
especially if it's something you're interested in, and even like you said, even if you're not part of 4-H.
Correct. Absolutely.
Right. And I guess, what would you say to someone who's not in 4-H that is interested in performing arts, that's a little bit on the edge about, coming out to 4-H, maybe for whatever reason, I suppose?
I would say anybody who's interested in that or any other, topic, definitely look into the project areas we have, call the extension office and see how you can get involved, talk to, friends that might be in 4-H and see what it's kind of all about. We use a lot of our members that are enrolled to kind of help spread the word and say, like, hey, invite a friend you have that's not in it, and just kind of see if 4-H is a good fit for them.
So I want to also talk a little bit about your 4-H virtual careers discussion coming up April 14th. Before I do, tell me, when is this Lights Camera Action tour and all that detail of everything else?
So the Lights Camera Action, the tour of UIS, is on April 7th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. You have your own transportation to get up there, but that's how long the tour will last. We still have registration open on our website, or you can call the extension office, find us on Facebook, get that information, and register that way.
Got to put my mic up. And with the 4-H virtual careers discussion coming up April 14th, what is that? You obviously do a lot with educating youth. So this sounds like a good opportunity for that.
Yeah. So again, one of our things is, on all of our project areas, we're also trying to help them understand, those projects can lead to a career and kind of get them thinking about careers. So we're going to have a panel of adults in a variety of careers, some ag, some not. I don't have the final list or anything, on a Zoom call, and kids can ask questions. I think each panelist will talk a little bit about their career, how they got it. So it'll be beneficial for kids to just kind of explore what some adults are doing, see if it's maybe a fit for them, and just kind of get some of that experience. So it's April 14th. I think that's a Thursday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. Again, it's open to 4-H members, but if you're not in 4-H and are interested, you can definitely register, no cost. So, and again, you sign up and register online, or you can call our website or call our phone number. We can get you signed up.
Also, April 14th, you have volunteer and teacher appreciation. What can you say about the volunteer and teachers that help out 4-H?
Yeah, so we all of our volunteers, we can't do 4-H without our volunteers. So they are our club leaders that lead our clubs. They help at the fair doing a variety of things. They can sometimes lead our workshops for us. So we rely on our community volunteers and adults and everything to do what we do. And every year in April, the end of April, is National Volunteer Appreciation Week. So we always try to appreciate and highlight and recognize our volunteers at that time. And then teachers as well. We do a lot with teachers, and we know teachers always need to be appreciated. So we are collecting just a variety of goodies for them, candy, notepads, just like things that they will use during the month of April. 14th and 27th, I believe, is when we'll be packing them. And so clubs and members, anybody can drop stuff off at the extension office. We'll pack those together and get them sent to our volunteers and teachers.
You also have a deadline coming up here in the foreseeable future, but I want to get to that. But first, let me reintroduce you. Got to take a quick break, make the sponsors happy, and then we'll continue our conversation. You are listening to the WTIM Morning Show. That is 4-H Youth Development Educator Sarah Martin. Your stream co-sponsored by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first.
This is Lance Vonderheide with People's Bank and Trust, where customers have one business banker who understands their business and provides the right financial services to achieve their financial goals. Your business banker is your single source for all your financial needs, from cash management to lines of credit, from mortgages to equipment loans and everything in between. Call me at 888-PBT-1954. At People's Bank and Trust, we put people first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The 2022 Greater Taylorville Chamber of Commerce Annual Banquet is Friday, May 6th at the Pillars Event Center. It will be one you'll never forget. Hi, I'm Linda Allen, Executive Director, along with
Randall J. Miller, President of WTIM and the Miller Media Group. We're the exclusive sponsor of this year's banquet, footing the bill for everything to celebrate WTIM's 70th anniversary so that we can raise money for the Greater Taylorville Chamber of Commerce, the Taylorville Public Schools Foundation, and the Taylorville Food Pantry.
% of all ticket sales will go to the Greater Taylorville Chamber of Commerce, helping us continue to be the doorway to the community. 25% of all ticket sales are going to be our friends at the Taylorville Public Schools Foundation, and 25% will go to the wonderful work being done at the Taylorville Food Pantry. Tickets are on sale at the Chamber office now. Single tickets are $50, or you can buy a table of 8 for only $360. Get your tickets now for the 2022 Greater Taylorville Chamber of Commerce Annual Banquet, recognizing WTIM's 70th anniversary. A fundraiser for the Greater Taylorville Chamber of Commerce, the Taylorville Public Schools Foundation, and our local Taylorville Food Pantry.
You don't sit behind a desk every day to earn a living. You're out and about making it happen. And sometimes you get a little bit behind on your paperwork, like bookkeeping and paying your taxes. It's easy to get behind on paying your taxes. It happens to the best of us. And you know what happens next. The big bad IRS comes knocking on your door. And when that happens, you need to call the good old boys at the Tax Doctor. Let them do what they do best, deal and negotiate with the IRS so you pay the lowest you can in back taxes that the law allows. We are a 100% U.S.-based company, and we've saved our clients millions over the years in back taxes. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call my friends right now at the Tax Doctor and learn more.
800-816-4492. 800-816-4492. 800-816-4492. That's 800-816-4492.
Computer Techniques, also known as CTI, is bringing fiber internet to local homes and businesses. For lag-free internet with speeds up to 1 gig, find out more by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Westervelt Mutual Insurance has always been there to provide the best coverage and protection we could find for our home, and will continue to do so for years to come. Find an agent near you by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper, your host. Your stream co-sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. I'm here with 4-H Youth Development Educator Sarah Martin. Before we went to break, Sarah, I hinted at a deadline coming up in about, 2 weeks. 3 weeks? No, about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty big deadline, especially for those involved in 4-H. What is that deadline?
Yeah, so it's April 15th, which has always been every year. It is our 4-H project selection and enrollment deadline. And I say that, with a kind of an asterisk that we don't have an enrollment deadline. Everybody can enroll at any time, but we have to set a deadline to enroll to be eligible to show at the fair. And that's what that is. So April 15th is the deadline for our current members to select their projects that they're wanting to show or thinking about showing. And then April 15th is the deadline for anyone that needs to enroll to be eligible to show at the fair this summer. So
which fair? The state fair?
The county fair, the
county
Christian
fair.
County Fair. We have 4-H shows during that. So, and then you get promoted on to the state fair that way. So,
Right. Assuming you do really well in your county
Correct.
fair presentation,
Yes,
you
correct.
can go to the state fair.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what kind of projects have you seen so far that are going on right now? Just generally speaking, that is.
So we don't have any projects. So we do all of our shows and stuff usually in the summer, but we just this past Tuesday. Yeah. So I'm trying to think what day it was. Thursday. Tuesday, we had our public speaking show here at Christian County. So that's kind of the kickoff to some of our exhibits and shows. So we selected 3 members there that will be going on to potentially speak at the state contest for public speaking. So, and then in the summer at our county shows, we'll select any and all general show projects and foods and all that stuff to go on.
I mean, let's see. It is like 3 weeks away. If I don't have a project picked out right now, should I be worried?
If you're a current member, usually, especially if you're returning, you have the projects you did last year, so not too much. If you're brand new and thinking about 4-H, we still have time, and that's fine. But we always suggest, if you're thinking about joining and thinking about 5 or 6 projects you're interested in, enroll in all of those. Enrolling in a project doesn't mean you're going to show it at the fair. It just means you're interested in learning about it. If you're not enrolled in it, there's no way you can show it at the fair, though. So it's better to be enrolled in 5 or 6, and then you might only show 1 or 2, than not enroll in them and then regret it later.
Perhaps at the very least, enrolling now at least lays the groundwork for next year. At
Correct.
the very least.
Correct. Yeah. And that's why we say we don't have an enrollment deadline per se. If we get interest, in the middle of July, we're happy to enroll you. We usually say, wait a little bit because we have a fee each year and we roll over. So if we get close to that enrollment rollover, we're kind of like, just wait. But yeah, we take anybody at any time, at any point, any age, that sort of thing.
Rolling into the next topic, you have a Prepare for Fair event coming up April 20th. 4-H STEAM Clothing 1. What is that?
So STEAM Clothing is what we call our sewing project or our clothing project. And STEAM 1 is level 1 and then 2 and 3. And we've had a series of sewing workshops over the past 3 or 4 months that our coordinator, Alexis McDowell, has been putting on that have been very well attended. So this is kind of the next step in those. So anybody that has attended one of those previous workshops is encouraged to come to this workshop on the 20th, and they will start to prepare their exhibit that they can take to the county fair that we talked about. So like a pillowcase, I think a bag. I don't know all the specifics, but they can start to work on that project.
Right. It's a little bit like the public speaking one that you said you saw Tuesday. This is going to be the next step for those working on the STEAM clothing project.
Yes, correct. So it's for if you've gone to those workshops before, some of those kids might not be enrolled in that project yet, but we're going to encourage you to enroll in that project so you can move it on and take it to the fair. So
Awesome. And you also have something coming up. It's looks like a little bit of agriculture literacy. Tell me a little bit about that. What is it that you'll be focusing on?
So we have our vegetable kit coming up it's going to be ready in May, early May. And it's another thing to get kids ready to show at the fair. So anybody enrolled in our vegetable horticulture projects, you will get a kit with some seeds. I'm not sure which vegetable seeds you're getting yet. But you'll be able to get those, take them home and plant them so that hopefully those plants will be ready enough or start to be ready in time to show them as well at the fair in July.
When you see kids develop these projects, probably year-long projects, right? How would you characterize the way they respond to, you know what, I did it. I showed my project at the fair, regardless if they go on to the state fair or not? How do you see them react to all the progress they made?
That's one of my favorite things, is just kind of seeing that, you have the spectrum of, kids that are confident and excited, and usually they're returning members. My favorite is seeing, because I was one of those kids, the kid that is shy and is like, I don't want to talk to the judge and I don't want to do all this. But the second after they do it, they turn around, they're like, that wasn't so bad. It was fun. It was great. So, that we always encourage parents and kids and anything, like 4-H can be, a lot and can expose the kids to new things. So they're kind of scary and nervous about it. But I've not yet seen a kid that hasn't been, at least encouraged when they talk to a judge, or encouraged when they go to a club meeting. So just give it a try. And that's what always sparks me, is seeing those kids that are like, oh, they said I did a good job, or I learned something new, or I was able to, get that blue ribbon or whatever that I wanted. So that's what makes it all worth it at the end of the day.
Running out of time here, Sarah. Any final thoughts that you would like to share, or maybe just reiterate something we talked about?
Yeah, just that we have all of our workshops and things open right now, and we continue to put new ones. So if you are not following our Facebook page, just Google or Facebook Christian County 4-H. Look at our website, and just keep up to date. And if you're interested in joining 4-H or a club, contact our office, talk to Alexis, we can get you set up.
That's 4-H Youth Development Educator Sarah Martin. Thank you so much for coming on here, Sarah.
Thank you for having me.
Your stream co-sponsored by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The U.S., the EU, and the G7 announcing new sanctions aimed